It was an exciting team win. Just look at it, it was our first road win in 11 tries, and that was really exciting for our football team. And we made a statement early in the season, back in January, told them in March, told them later on, there's going to come a time in that locker room where we're going to come together as a team. We're going to go win a game that is going to get this whole locker room excited. And where our guys, without fault, how hard they played, and then to come in the locker room after the game it was so emotional, so uplifting to see guys jumping around and hugging one another. But we needed that. We needed that to get this program headed back in the right direction. And there were so many individual efforts. If you look at that whole day, you look at it offensively, two of our key players are out, in Froman and Bilal Powell, and for Burke to step up and play the way he played, and then for Jeremy Wright to run as hard as he ran. But not only Jeremy Wright, you look at Vic Anderson, he comes back from an injury, he runs hard also, and then Blaine Donnell. And our offensive line continues to be the glue of this football team. And the start of the second half, they wanted to run the football, and that's what we did. We ran the football. We were down 17-14, and they came out and made a statement. It's always critical the first 5 minutes of the game, the second half. It put special emphasis on that as a football team, because that could change the whole game. That's what happened. We went down and took the score, and we scored. And defensively brought a lot of pressure to stop the run. And we wanted to stop the run and put a lot of pressure on that quarterback. I think the first half we may have given up 196 yards. Second half, probably given up 70 yards or less. But just a total team win, and it was so great for this program, so great for our kids, because our kids needed that. They just needed to get an emotional lift, and that was a game that I think is going to get this program headed back and get it started where we need to go.
Do you have any good Skip Holtz stories from the time you guys were on the same staff, or just being around Coach Holtz?
No, Skip, he was the offensive coordinator and I was the defensive coordinator. No stories.
Does that give you any kind of an edge, kind of knowing, serving on the same staff, kind of knowing what his tendencies might be?
No, because there was 2001, 2, and 3, and it was different personnel, and we were at South Carolina, and it was a program that was similar to this when we took over. Then win any games our first year, to the next 2 years we would go to the Outback Bowl and win 2 straight Outback Bowls.
It looked like you in South Florida is kind of getting into their rhythm after kind of a rocky 2 games.
Oh, it is, and you just look at B.J. Daniels, their quarterback is really good. And you just defensively put a lot of pressure on you, similar to us, and then offensively he can beat you with his arm or with his feet. And they're getting back on rhythm. You look at the last 2 games, they put up a lot of points, and they're playing very well.
How did that work at halftime? Did the offensive line come to you and say, we want to run? I mean, was it the first 5 plays, I think, of that third quarter, and we kind of run away from the throw? Did they come to you and say, we can run on these guys, let's just run it down?
No. No, what happens is just our offensive coaches, they just knew what we could do. And then you said to our offensive line coach, Dave Gorbley does a great job. Forbes just said, hey, we're going to run the football, so you guys get ready to go knock them off the ball. That's what we did. Jeremy Wright was able to get behind his pads, and he got downhill on some really good runs.
Charlie, do you have an update on Powell and Froman, their availability?
No update on Powell. Froman, no update at all.
What did Wright show you getting his chance and putting rest?
Well, I had a chance to watch him play in high school, and he ran the ball very well. And then for him to step in and for Bilal, it was good to just see him have some success. In the spring, he got banged up a little, ran hard at times, then he got banged up, and then for him to come into this game, he's not very big, but he can get behind his pads, has enough speed and quickness and enough strength where he can make the runs and make people miss him. And, he don't have to run over anybody. He's not big enough yet. He's not like Bilal, but he can make people miss.
How about Burke getting a chance to play, and especially if he's throwing the interception last week on the road?
Well, what we try to tell our football team is we don't need a quarterback to win the football game for us. We need each position to go do their job and each position to go play well. And Burke, we just need him to manage the offense, which he did. He managed the offense and did a really good job of managing the offense. And it was good that he had that success, because we know that we may need him again down the stretch here. So it was good to see him play so well.
Well, backed up, is he maybe as experienced a backup quarterback as you've had?
Oh, yes, and he's a senior. So, and you look at it, he started some games last year. So it wasn't where he was a true freshman running to the game for the first time. He had played some.
What are his strengths?
Bert,
Yeah.
very smart, knows the offense, and he plays within his limitations. He knows that, probably how far he can throw the ball, where he needs to place the ball, but he's very smart.
Some coaches are real reluctant to talk about the future and bowls and so forth. You kind of mentioned that. I think your team from the get-go is needing to get to a bowl as seniors. What went into your thinking or goes into your thinking about putting that out there?
Well, I just said it to them just because you have a senior group that for 4 years haven't been anywhere, and you wanted to get them where they've had enough in this program. You say, okay, it's your senior year, and right now they're playing their best football. Yes, our seniors are playing very well, and we just wanted some reward for them at the end of the day, and that reward, if they keep playing well, they have a chance. But we still play 3 teams here with South Florida, West Virginia, and Rutgers. If we stub, all 3 of those teams can beat us. So we still have to be very cautious about it. But we still have to go prepare the right way and continue to do the things we have to do to go win football games.
In your opinion, would 6 wins get you to a bowl? I mean, get you eligible, would it get you to a bowl? 6 wins?
I have no idea.
This program hasn't been to a bowl in a few years. This is your first year. Are things going to the pace you expected it, or is it going faster than maybe you thought?
Well, just with our coaching staff, we have a good enough coaching staff where we need to get it going, and we felt like we could get it going. Just didn't know how soon. I didn't know if it was going to be this year, next year, but you never know, and you just don't know the future. But when you have that opportunity, you just take advantage of it, and that's what we're doing right now. And our seniors are playing so well that they're giving us that chance, and they're giving us an opportunity where we can go win some games.
Is the biggest positive coming out of the game over the weekend, not just the win, but the fact that Powell wasn't in there, you were still able to go in and run the football against a pretty good run-stopping team?
Well, you look at 2 key players, Powell and Froman, 2 guys that have been playing very well for you on offense, and both of those guys were out. Now you get to go in with Bert, and you get to go in with Vic and Jeremy, and with Blade Donnell. And we ran the ball, but that's why I keep saying that our glue is our offensive line. And I told our team, everyone else is still in position. You still have your defense, you still have your offensive line, you still have your running backs, you have your wide receivers. Only person you're missing is the quarterback and running back. Now everybody else just got to play better what they've been playing. Just up your game 10%, and we have a chance.
Well, you talked, I remember when the season started, about trying to find an identity. Do you think have you found one now? Do you think this 9 games in?
I would say this. I think we're a very physical, tough football team. And I think that that's what we build on is just our toughness. It's a team that accountability, team with trust, a team with respect for one another. And that continues to build each game, and it has to build because each guy has to know his role. He has to know how important it is to be a part of a football team. But their toughness and just how physical we play is key for us.
Have they, considering how slowly the season seemed to start, was there any sort of turning point, or is it just going to be gradual, crescendo, I guess, of that as the season is going on?
But just as the season is going, just competing, and probably you want to look back at a game. I'll probably look back at Oregon State when they were up, 31-14, and we were able to come back. And I think that guys start believing that they can go play it. They kind of start getting some confidence. So that game, it could have went either way. They could have either blown us out, or we had to come back and play as well as we played, and we did. But I think that game was a game that probably got us going in the direction we needed to go.
The pass rush was very effective.
What kind of atmosphere do you expect this weekend with the next 2 at home? I mean, it's time for the fans to maybe get behind these guys too.
Well, if you look at it, I think our fans are doing a really good job. Because I look at the last, you go to Syracuse. I mean, our fans would have, if a game is critical, I think our fans would have been even at Pittsburgh. But I think we get enough fans in here now where they understand and they're behind. I wasn't here, and somebody said they announced the score over at the Churchill, and people just erupted. So you could just tell right there that they're feeling it now.
The pass rush was very effective last Saturday, and also now Louisville's number 13 in total defense in the nation. Could you expand a little bit on the defense, especially the play of Daniel Brown and Heath from last Saturday?
You know, as a defense, and you know, stats, some people report, we don't really get caught up in that. We just know this. When we line up, we had to go outplay the other team's defense. And we got a lot of pressure on Saturday, but we blitzed a lot. And then that's what, we're not very big, so we can't just stand in there and just lay on blocks. You know, we have to move guys because we're small. And then you bring the Daniel Browns, you bring Brandon Heath, you bring Johnny Patrick. Those guys can blitz. So we try to put guys who can make plays in position to go make plays. And you look at the first quarter, Brown comes off the edge, hits the ball, Kennedy picks it up. But we just try to get pressure. We will pressure teams.
Is the defense to the point now where you feel like it can win games for you? Because it seemed like they're maybe a little bit behind the offense when the year started, but now it seems like they're coming.
Well, if you look at this past game defensively, it was a really good effort. And even going in 17-14, I said to the team at halftime, we're going to take the ball, we're going to go score. Either we're going to tie the score or we're going to go ahead. So you guys got to decide what you want, 3 or 7. But defensively, we'll go play and we'll stop them, which our defense did. Even in the Pittsburgh game, you know, they came to play, but they're just getting more confidence. And that's just this whole football team. It's more about just the confidence that they're feeling. And when you win games, your confidence continues to grow.
You mentioned in the past that your defense has to outplay their defense. That's kind of an interesting concept. Where'd you pick that up, or is that just something you developed over the years?
It's just something you develop over the years, because you can look at a game, you can go into a game, you can look at it, okay? You can say, okay, the game ended up being 10-3. Okay, what did their defense do that our defense didn't do? I mean, they may have gotten a turnover, we got no turnover. They may have gotten a couple of sacks, we got no sacks. But in our defense understands that. They know that they have to go outplay the other team's defense, or we have no chance at all. So if our quarterback's getting hit, their quarterback need to be getting hit.
If Perlman's healthy, does he automatically go back in, or is it a decision to make like all your other positions?
If Perlman's healthy, he's earned that position. He's been a starter through those games, so he earned that position.
Charlie, the last couple of weeks you've talked about the Big East Road losing streak as motivation. What's the motivation this week for the guys?
Well, we have a chance to go get us another win. Let's go win another football game. And I want to say we haven't won back-to-back Big East games since '06. So it's another. You know, these guys know I'm always coming up with something so perfect. But you have to put it out there where guys understand just them doing. And they are. I think that they're realizing now how important each game becomes. You got 3 games left, so let's go play these next 3 and let's see where we end up, guys.
Does Rocco tell you in a list of everything?
Yeah. Do you look this stuff up yourself? Does Rocco give you
Rocco gives me some of it, but I look a lot of that up too. But we share ideas.
Who had the bigger win Saturday, you or Seth?
I tell you what, Seth and I talked, and so he called me before we played. He said, "Good luck," and I said, "Okay." So after the game, we were coming back, and I called him. I said, "Okay, I've done my part. Now let's go get Blaine to do his part." and he was actually on his way to the track. So then he wouldn't.
Do you have anybody? Did you see it?
Yes, we had a chance. I ran in the FBO, and everyone was standing there and was watching it. And then, you know, everybody was yelling, which is a great horse. It's unbelievable.